Imagine being alone on the streets or caged up, yearning to share a life with someone, but your life ends before it even can begin. That is how animals in the shelter feel while they're waiting on their forever home, if that ever comes. Today, I will try to convince you to adopt a pet instead of purchase one. According to global movement DoSomething.org, each year approximately 2.7 million dogs and cats are killed every year because shelters are too full and do not have enough homes to be adopted into. Some points I will touch on in this presentation are stereotypes of animals that are in the shelter, negative aspects of purchasing an animal, and then the pros about adoption. Now that you know I'm here to persuade you to adopt, let's examine the problems associated with purchasing an animal. One stereotype about animals from the shelter is that they have health issues. Actually, animals from the shelter are very up to date and well taken care of. According to Dr. Rebecca Roosh Galley, many shelters provide a health screen, vaccinations, parasite treatment, and the animals are spayed and neutered in the adoption fee. If this care is not provided on site, then normally they will cover those health, like the screening and the vaccinations in a veterinarian office close by. Another myth about animal shelters is that they have behavioral issues, and they think that has to be the reason why they're in the shelter to begin with. But this is not true. According to Director of Operations for the Cleveland Animal Protective League, Elise Dunlap, she sets the record straight by saying, "Most of what comes in our shelter are wonderful family pets. Some animals do have minor issues, but that is due to their previous owners. Any pet you get, you're going to have to train." And so, these pets were abused, so, it's likely that they will have a few issues. But like I said, you're going to have to train dogs that you purchase. You're going to have to train them to behave the way you want them to and to even potty train. And then adoptive animals, they are already potty trained most of the time. Now that we have set the record straight with those myths, I will discuss problems with purchasing pets. The number one problem with buying pets is that they will likely come from a puppy or kitty meal. Animals in meals are treated like a cash crop. Most online sellers, flea markets, and pet store animals are bred in a meal. According to the Humane Society, puppy mills are factory-styled breeding facilities that put profit over the welfare of the animals. Mills are unethical, and the animals are housed in poor living conditions. They have improper medical treatments and are usually severely sick with behavioral problems. Some more unethical cons of mills is that the moms that are doing all the breeding, they are kept in cages until it's time to breed. So they have no companionship, and they have little hope of ever having a family. At best, that they are auctioned off when they're finished breeding, and if they're not auctioned off, then most of the time they're killed. Another issue about purchasing pets from a breeder is that you don't know the animal's health or the living conditions. The breeder may seem like they have taken well care of the puppies and that they have received proper care, but you never can tell. And a red flag for sure is if they're trying to get rid of the puppies before 6 weeks. I have actually had my own personal experience with this when purchasing a puppy from Nacogdoches. A lady, she had a very nice house, she looked well kept, and the puppies looked very well kept. But she tried to give me this puppy, I bought it before 6 weeks, and it ended up being severely sick, and I had to take it back, and she never gave me my money back. So I've discussed the problems associated with purchasing pets. Now let's examine how we can solve this issue by discussing the positives about adoption and how to start the process. The number one positive about adoption is that you'll be saving a life, but not just one life. When you adopt a pet, it saves more than just one animal's life. According to the Humane Society, the number of euthanized animals could be reduced dramatically if more people adopted pets instead of buying them. When you adopt, you save a loving animal by making them part of your family and opens up space in the shelter for another animal who desperately needs it. Another pro about adoption it is cheaper than buying a pet. Also, there are so many amenities that come with adopting a pet, like in the adoption fee. They spay and neuter the pet before you take it. They're up to date on their vaccinations, and they also can microchip the dog if you want. That way you can easily find it if it gets lost. All of this is covered under the adoption fee, which is at most $250. Wanting to adopt a pet but not a cat or dog? Well, some animal shelters have small mammals, rabbits, guinea pigs, gerbils, and even birds. So if dogs and cats are not your thing, you can still look at some of the shelters and try to find a different kind of animal. And all the money from the adoption fee is used to care and maintain the animal shelter. If more people adopted pets, it would be one way to stop the mills. Mills will continue to operate until people stop giving them their money. Now I want you to visualize two different scenarios. Scenario 1, you're at the Canton Flea Market and you go to the area where there's animals to purchase. You're wanting to buy a French Bulldog puppy, but there's only one left. And you can tell that that puppy's the runt. And the seller assures you that it'll be okay. You can buy the puppy and just kind of, watch it real good, and that it'll be okay being away from its mom at that early age. And she doesn't ask you any questions of your intent of the puppy or what kind of family you are. She just sells you the puppy, and you can tell that it's the runt. You get it home, and then the puppy is severely sick, and it ends up passing away. All this could have been avoided if you would have just adopted a pet, because those pets from like the flea market and pet stores and things like that are, in the factories of the mills. They're not well taken care of. So animals in the shelter, they're screened for medical testings when you decide to adopt a pet, and then they're also asking you interview questions. Sometimes they come and look at your home to make sure that you're well fit to take care of an animal. I have put together a few slides of a picture of local animals that need a home, and I have put their contact information. So my slide says Save a Life Today. Local shelters in this area are Nacogdoches Animal Shelter, and the number is 936-560-5011, and Panola County Humane Society, 903-693-4983. And these are a few adoptable pets. One right here, he's a little young pit bull. This is a border collie. She's really pretty. And this is a young pit bull also. Here's a little calico kitty. Here's another little domestic cat with the long hair. And then this little guy right here that looks like he really wants a home. So today my goal was to convince you to adopt and not shop. We discussed stereotypes of the shelter, negative aspects of mills and breeders, as well as positives that come along with adoption. Animals every day lose their life in a shelter. Save a life, don't shop. Thank you.